Okay, let's go. The Case of the Secret Silver by Day Williams, Chapter 7. Jennifer and Jake parked their bicycles on the boardwalk outside the Mark Twain Museum. They chained the bikes to a metal post, took off their helmets, and paid the admission to the museum. They examined the displays on the ground floor, then took the stairs to the basement. The lady downstairs at the museum, who wore a pink and white granny dress with a lace bonnet, wasn't much help. Not at first. Wasn't there a lawyer Bell who lived in Virginia City? Jennifer asked. I've showed you the books that tell about Mark Twain's life, the woman said. You can buy them all if you like, and I'll give you a discount. I don't recall anything about a lawyer Bell, but you never know what you will find. How about something on the life of John Mackey? Jennifer inquired. We don't carry books on John Mackey, the woman said. We carry books on Mark Twain. Jennifer sighed. I need to know about Lawyer Bell and John Mackey, she said. Tell you what I'll do, said the lady. I'll give you directions to the bookstore that has hundreds of books about Virginia City in its heyday, just like I did for that fellow who was here yesterday. Somebody was here yesterday? Jennifer asked. We have somebody here every day, the woman said. That's how we keep our doors open. I mean, did that fellow ask about John Mackey? He asked about John Mackey and Lawyer Bell the same as you did. I told him I didn't have anything about it. I gave him directions to the bookstore. You go south on the boardwalk. You can't miss it. Can you describe him? Jennifer had learned from her detective stories to always obtain a good description of the suspect. I don't recall, the woman said. She glanced at the Mark Twain books on a nearby rack. Did you know that Samuel Clemens first used the pen name of Mark Twain while he lived in Virginia City? I didn't know that, Jennifer said. She pulled two books off the rack. These look like good books on Mark Twain, she said, handing the books to the woman. He had a handsome white mustache. How much for the books? The woman rang up the sale and handed Jennifer a receipt. Now that I've had a minute, I do recall something about that fellow who was here yesterday, said the woman. He was 25 or 30 years old, something like that, of average height, and he wore a goatee. Thanks, ma'am, Jennifer said, stuffing the two Mark Twain books in her backpack. You've been a great help. Glad to oblige, said the woman. Jennifer and Jake strode down the boardwalk past the chocolate factory, the Mark Twain saloon, and the Bucket of Blood saloon and casino. They entered the bookstore and the bell over the door rang as they walked in. The store had shelves and shelves of books and a jukebox in a corner next to an old piano. Jennifer put a coin in the jukebox. It played a ragtime piano tune, The Entertainer. The piano's keys, black and white, moved up and down as though an invisible piano player were playing. Jake danced around the store while Jennifer examined the books. When the song ended, the storekeeper asked them, Can I help you find anything special? First, I need to ask you a few questions, Jennifer said. She took her notebook and pencil out of her backpack. I'm a detective from Carson City. I'm hot on the trail of a suspect. I used to track suspects when I was a deputy, the man said. He looked wistful, as though remembering his glory days. Did a man come in here yesterday, 25 to 30 years old, of medium height, with a goatee? Let me see, said the man. He wore a striped suit with red suspenders and a derby hat. He stroked his chin. I'm getting older, you see. My memory isn't what it used to be. I have 10 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. One of them is about your age. Think hard, Jennifer said. It might help me crack this case wide open. She leaned on the counter and stared up at him. Yes, a fellow like that did come in here yesterday, about closing time. He was asking about lawyers in Virginia City. Who wants to know about lawyers when there were more interesting men like miners and financiers and writers? Virginia City has a fascinating history. Lawyers don't figure in it much. Sir, was it about a lawyer named Bell? Jennifer asked. Just then a tourist walked in, and the bell above the door rang. That rings a bell, said the man. He laughed at his joke. Bell, bell, I must have bats in my belfry. He laughed at that joke too, and then turned to the new customer. Can I help you, ma'am? Just looking around, said the woman. Please, sir, Jennifer said. Did the fellow ask about Lawyer Bell? Right, he said. He asked about Lawyer Bell. I sold him my book on Virginia City lawyers from 1859 to 1899. My last copy. Your last copy? Wailed Jennifer. How will I ever find out where Lawyer Bell had his office? That's easy, said the man. I have a map of Virginia City when the Comstock Lode was the richest mine in the world. He unfurled a brown map and spread it out on the glass countertop. Let's see, he said. Most lawyers had offices up and down the main street. I don't see any Lawyer Bell there, Jennifer said. Some lawyers couldn't afford a fancy office on the main street, the man said. Some rented storefronts close to the mines so they could catch a little business when the miners went to and fro from the mines all hours of the day and night. The miners risked their lives to bring up the silver and the gold. Some died in cave-ins, Jake said. I would have fought my way out against the falling timbers and saved a man or two in the process. I can see you're a fighter, said the man. You'll grow as strong as an oak tree. I could stop a terrorist or any other bad guy, Jake said. I know karate. I bet you could defend your sister, said the man. Stepsister, he said. Your stepsister, the man corrected himself. I hope it doesn't come to that. Our parents got married 3 months ago, Jake said. We're still getting to know each other. I found him, shouted Jennifer. I found Lawyer Bell. Where is he? Jake asked. His office was down a ways on the east side of town. Right here, she pointed to the map. Sure enough, it designated a Phineas Bell, attorney at law. We have to go down there, Jake, Jennifer said. She copied the map and pulled on her backpack. I'd like some lunch, Jake said. I'm hungry. We don't have time for lunch, Jennifer said. She took an energy bar from her backpack. Eat this. It tastes good, and it's good for you. They hurried down the boardwalk. Tourists and locals stepped aside to make way for the two children. Jennifer bumped into a woman in a wheelchair. Young folks these days, said the woman. Sorry, Jennifer said. I'm hot on the trail of a suspect. Hearing that comment, the woman chortled with merriment. We're closer than ever, Jennifer said to Jake. Come on, we have to hurry. Somebody might get there ahead of us. Today you carry the camcorder, Jake said. You said that I would star in the movie. So what? I can't be a star if I'm the one behind the camera. Give me the camcorder, Jennifer said. Hurry, we could find 1,000 silver bars. I can't go any further, Jake said, puffing. Not until I have some lunch and you explain what this is all about. I admit I'm hungry too, Jennifer said. My detective book said that a detective should eat when she can. It keeps her sharp when catching bad guys and solving mysteries. The Silver Queen has a cafe, Jake said. Let's eat there. Chapter 8. Here are the clues and my deductions, Jennifer said as Jake wolfed down a cheeseburger. They sat by the Silver Queen herself, a larger-than-life painting of a woman. Her dress had 3,261 silver dollars and 28 $20 gold pieces. I read a detective book about catching spies. Spies use codes, all different kinds. Munfrieg, Jake said. One kind of code is called a book code. You send a message with numbers. It's tied to the pages of a certain book. Gerdfellow, Jake said. He gulped a soda in between bites of the burger. In World War II, the Germans used a book called Rebecca for their codes, Jennifer said. Do you remember that I looked through 2 books at the museum? They were Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, both by Mark Twain. The first code was Twain, 2994851, she recounted. In Huckleberry Finn, page 29, it says, here, I wrote it down. She pulled out her notebook and read from it. Reverend Hobson and Dr. Robinson was down to the end of the town hunting together. That is, the doctor was shipping a sick man to the world, and the preacher was pinting him right. Lawyer Bell was away up to Louisville on business. So the first clue was Lawyer Bell. Got that, Jake? Slurp snort frog, Jake said. And in Tom Sawyer, page 192, 16 lines down, words 1 through 5, it says, stand a little further west. So the second clue was stand a little farther west. Ergmanch, Jake said. Then the man with the hatchet, the man who limped, told us what we were looking for with these clues. John Mackey had 1,000 silver bars stashed away. That's what we're after. Yum, Jake said. Would you buy me a chocolate milkshake, Jennifer? Sure, Jennifer said. 1 milkshake, miss, she said to the waitress. Are you listening to me? She asked Jake. Got it, Jake said. A little farther west of Lawyer's Bell office, we'll find 1,000 silver bars. You were listening to me, Jennifer said. As soon as you finish chugging that milkshake, we'll go to the very spot where Lawyer Bell had his office. Then we'll go a little farther west. Sure, Jake said. Which way is west? Silly. I brought a compass, Jennifer said. A good detective is always prepared. The only thing I haven't bought yet is a magnifying glass, like Sherlock Holmes always had. Let's go, Jake said as he gulped down the last of his shake. What are you waiting for?